I find it very, very annoying and very, very disturbing that Mr. Kapil Sibal is not paying any heed, and he's not declared as of now that there will be no farewell from Mr. Chandrachud this time. And that is for us very, very solid reason. And I think there is only one way in which his tenure and his activities will be judged, and these activities and this would be his activities are to be seen as a benchmark of what not to do as a judge. When message is now very, very clear that Mr. Chandrachud is kind of after that Narendra Modi Sahab's episode where he's seen doing Aarti, as where Modi Sahab is leading the Aarti in which he's just a participant in his own home. After that, a message has clearly gone that he is actually trying to flaunt his dearness and nearness to the RSS and BJP. But have you heard a sitting Chief Justice of India in his own home with just a head of a political party, the Prime Minister, and standing behind him, subservient to him, in his own home, privately, in a private puja? Have you ever seen or heard this? At least he should wait till 10th. After that, he can give as many interviews as he can. Actually participate in a fashion show for all that the lawyer community cares. If he is so interested, and he is quite a well-dressed person, so he can even participate in that. Who is stopping him? But wait till the retirement date, which is just 1 week away. But there are some of which Mr. Chandrachud is a glaring example of, as I said, of how not a judge should be. Forget about the one amongst the equals. What people are saying, even Mr. Agarwal was better than Mr. Kapil Sibal. And that's the worst comment anybody can have in sitting in the seat of the Supreme Court Bar Association's president. A narco-analysis test. Can Mr. Chandrachud take a narco-analysis test or a lie detecting test after he demits office about few of his judgments that there was no external influence?
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Now, today is Monday, which marks the beginning of the last week of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud as the Chief Justice of India. He retires very soon. What he's going to do thereafter, no one knows as of now, but today, he's attending the Indian Express Adda program, the popular program which has been attended by many politicians. Chief Justice of India, D.Y. Chandrachud, will be the chief guest. And also, there are strong murmurs within the legal corridors, which is many lawyers of the Supreme Court Bar Association. They have started murmuring whether at all they should be giving a farewell to Justice Chandrachud. I thought of speaking to Supreme Court lawyer Mehmood Pracha on this because he's quite vocal and aggressive on these issues. Thank you so much, Mehmood Pracha, for joining on HW News. And thank you so much for joining. And today is Monday, and of course, this marks the beginning of the last week of Justice D.Y. Chandrachud as the Chief Justice. And today, he's attending the Indian Express Adda program as the chief guest. Do you think he should be doing this, or he shouldn't be going? What is your view on this?
Thank you, Neelu ji, for talking to me, and thank you also for saying that I'm very aggressive, because speaking the truth these days is perceived as being aggressive, because very few people are speaking the truth. But luckily and thankfully, regarding the issue of Mr. D.Y. Chandrachud Sahab, a lot of people are speaking the truth. Lots and lots of people are speaking the truth, and not in murmurs, but in open voice also. In fact, a few lawyers have written a letter to Kapil Sibal Sahab, who is the president of Supreme Court Bar Association, and he suddenly came and conquered this time because people had high expectations of him because of the perception that the importance of Supreme Court and the integrity of Supreme Court was going down, and he was perceived as a person who would try and salvage that. But unfortunately, so he has not shown any sign or inclination of doing just that. Instead, he is behaving in a manner which can be compared to Mr. Rajiv Kumar, who is the Chief Election Commissioner. That's not the role of the President of the Supreme Court Bar Association, when especially these kind of activities are being undertaken by a person who is head of the family, the judicial family of the country. So I find it very, very annoying and very, very disturbing that Mr. Kapil Sibal is not paying any heed, and he's not declared as of now that there will be no farewell from Mr. Chandrachud this time. And that is for us very, very solid reason that
How
he is
many?
indulging.
Right. No, but Mehmood, how many lawyers have actually said that there shouldn't be any farewell for Mr. Chandrachud, for Justice Chandrachud?
I feel majority of the lawyers are saying this, and some of them have written letters. That's what is more important, because you see,
You
there
mean
is
to
a
say,
difference.
just allow me to interrupt you. You mean to say that letters have been written to Mr. Kapil Sibal so that the farewell should not be given to Justice D.Y. Chandrachud?
Asking him not to give farewell to the present Chief Justice of India, Mr. D.Y. Chandrachud Sahab. That is what letters are being written to Kapil Sibal Sahab.
Hmm.
And that is very, very unprecedented, I would say. And there is a distinction which lawyers have, and there is a respect for the chair of Chief Justice of India, and that's why many people will go to his farewell, if at all there is one, if Mr. Kapil Sibal and rest of his team does not listen to the popular voice of the Supreme Court Bar Association members. So, and let me tell you this, that Supreme Court Bar Association and the members of the Supreme Court and people practicing in Supreme Court are a very close knit kind of a group, I would say, who have interconnected interests, and nobody wants to ruffle the feathers, because judges are also, there are lobbies in our judicial system also, nobody can deny that. So very, very few people will actually want to come out in the open and say certain things which are being said about the Honorable Mr. Chief Justice of today. So a lot of people may go if there is a farewell, but they go as a sign of respect to that ceremony, which is for an outgoing Chief Justice. And incidentally, Mr. Chandrachud would be there. So that would be a majority of people who will be going there, if at all there is. But majority of the people, and I speak to a lot of people. I was there in Supreme Court today also, because today only Supreme Court is functioning, and there is a general strike across Delhi, all the Delhi bars today, for the assault on lawyers in Ghaziabad inside a courtroom. So there it was talk in the corridors of Supreme Court that it will not be appropriate. At least bar should stand up to defend the constitution if the bench is failing to do so, especially in the form of the behavior of Chandrachud Sahab, which is unbecoming, I would like to say, rather very, very unbecoming, the activities of the person who is sitting on the most prestigious seat of Honorable Chief Justice of India. And
No,
these
but
activities,
people are objecting to whatever statements Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud is making in his out of court meetings, whether he's addressing a seminar, whether he's making a speech, and there are news headlines which are being made out of whatever he's saying. Now, do you think that are you saying that whatever he has done so far, whatever he has said so far, is very unbecoming of a CJI? Is that what you're saying? And he's leaving behind an example which is really not worth emulating.
forget about the Honorable Chief Justice's post. I'm saying it is unbecoming, and I'm not saying this alone. Every person who has gone public about this incident of the judgment, uh, where he said that some external force influenced him and he found a solution by some external force, which was not he or his fellow judges. That is end of Indian constitution. That is the end of Indian constitution, and he is flaunting it to the world to know and see, and no explanation, no regret, and no corrective measures. So everybody who's in public domain, including the honorable judges, retired judges who have retired a long time back, and there is the long time word I'm using for a purpose, because judges are not supposed to behave in an unjudgely manner, even immediately after retirement. So if there is a sort of a cooling in period, which is the tradition, judges have to have a cooling off period, and judges are the most powerful, one of the most powerful positions which the Indian democracy and the Indian constitution formulated by Baba Sahib has given to them. So their responsibility is also very on a very higher pedestal. So therefore, everybody is speaking against this act of Mr. Chandrachud, and not only this, the way he is running, and of course, it will hurt his capacity to deliver judgments, which is his basic function. If you are in the last week of your, when there are a lot of pending reserved judgments which you have in your office, you are able to devote hours for a adda, and incidentally, he is going to for one today, which is the last week of his before his retirement, and he has many judgments which he has reserved. So I don't know whether he's actually doing justice to his post or not. That's a separate issue. But the message he's sending is extremely detrimental to the Indian judicial system. And I think there is only one way in which his tenure and his activities will be judged. And these activities, and this would be, his activities are to be seen as a benchmark of what not to do as a judge.
But
Every
these
act of it.
reports, but this issue which you said that a lot of lawyers have written to Mr. Kapil Sibal that there should be no farewell for Justice Chandrachud. Now, how many lawyers do you think are actually saying this? I mean, if I may ask you the number, is it just like few voices, or is it the majority of the lawyers don't want to give a farewell to Justice Chandrachud?
I mean, privately, I would say upward of 90%.
You are saying 90% of the lawyers do not want to give a farewell to Chandrachud?
Yes, upward of 90%. Privately. This is what I was there in the Supreme Court. That
privately, what does it mean? Privately, what does that mean? Privately, as
I mean,
in they
people see the Supreme Court is a very close-knit kind of a society or a group, as I said earlier also. So a lot of people will have to appear, and there are reservations. So in Supreme Court, a lot of people don't want to come out in the open and say things. So when in corridors, they're openly saying it because they fear that this might travel to the powers that be, and that will be used against them. And especially when the message is now very, very clear that Mr. Chandrachud is kind of after that Narendra Modi Sahab's episode, where he's seen doing aarti, as where Modi Sahab is leading the aarti, in which he's just a participant in his own home. After that, a message has clearly gone that he is actually trying to flaunt his dearness and nearness to the RSS and BJP. So after that, people are scared to come out in the open because they will have reprimands from RSS and BJP. But still, if you go to the corridor, you will hear this, that no, at least this much we can do to not give a farewell to this, the Honorable Chief Justice of India today, that is Mr. Chandrachud Sahab.
But have you ever heard a thing like this ever before, that 90% of the lawyers saying that they don't want to give a farewell to the outgoing Chief Justice of India? I mean, I feel that it's something which is very unthinkable. Even the most erroneous of the judges, I mean, this is like going to one extreme, that okay, we don't want to give a farewell to Justice Chandrachud.
No, let me answer your question by putting you a question myself. But the straight answer is no, I have not heard it.
Okay.
Never has it happened before. But have you heard a sitting Chief Justice of India in his own home with just a head of a political party, the Prime Minister, and standing behind him, subservient to him, in his own home, privately, in a private puja? Have you ever seen or heard this? Have you ever heard or seen a person saying that the judgment which I delivered, a very important judgment, and I would say that every judgment is important. I should not say that an important judgment was delivered not by him or rest of the brother judges. It was delivered by, or it was inspired by an outside force other than the honorable judges who were part of that bench. Have you ever heard this? Have you ever heard a sitting chief justice going to express adda kind of a event? Have you ever heard these things? Chief justice writing articles not about the legal point or the way judiciary is to function, not about the theoretical aspects of our judicial system, but about his own personal experiences as a judge. Have you ever heard any of this? Have you ever heard, other than Mr. Modi and some other political leaders, a person so besieged with himself, which can be easily called
Right. So
bordering
your objection and your reservation is with the fact that Justice Chandrachud uh, is promoting himself way beyond like all the boundaries, and he shouldn't have crossed those boundaries.
I mean, he is something like the captain of a team, and he knows that he is going to go out. So he wants to. I'm giving an example. He wants to endorse as many advertisement products as he can to promote himself and to collect the benefits. That is what is the kind of desperation which is being visible to naked eye. I mean, he will be an important person. He will, a retired chief justice is also an important person. If he cannot even wait for a cooling off period, which is absolutely necessary as per traditions, but at least he should wait till 10th. After that, he can give as many interviews as he can. He can actually participate in a fashion show for all that the lawyer community cares. If he is so interested, and he is quite a well-dressed person, so he can even participate in that. Who is stopping him? But wait till the retirement date, no, which is just 1 week away, and there is a full court guideline for how judges have to behave in public and private. He's flouting all of them. 1997.
Right, Mehmood, you've listed out many instances that he shouldn't have done this, but he did that. Now, a very blunt question which I want to ask you is that has Justice Chandrachud crossed all the Lakshman Rekhas which were existing within the judicial boundaries? Has he really demolished all those boundaries? And has he brought judiciary to the lowest level?
I would not say the judiciary per se, because there are good judges also. We cannot paint. Otherwise, our system will crash. If there were not honest judges at every level, in Supreme Court also, I don't want to name, but it is quite visible. Who are the judges with the spine and who are the judges which don't have spine? It is visible. So we should not, and these people have to be respected, who are fighting against the current for just doing their duty, which is decide cases. They are actually providing a service, decide cases in consonance with the provisions of the Constitution and the precedents laid down and principles of natural justice. This is a service which they are providing. They're not doing some great godly work which some of the judges think they're doing. It is just they are servants of people of India. So there are good judges. Let's remember this, and they are doing actually a good job in the service which they are providing. But there are some of which Mr. Chandrachud is a glaring example of, as I said, of how not a judge should be. Forget about the one amongst the equal. I mean, the first amongst the equal, that is the Chief Justice of India. So it is, but he is actually degrading the post of the Honorable Chief Justice of India. That is what, like Mr. Modi, I say no, that he is actually denigrating or reducing the respect, power, and the authenticity, I would say, of the post of Prime Minister. Similarly, Mr. Chandrachud is actually denigrating the seat, the august and the most important, one of the most important seats of India. That is the
No,
seat
but
of the Chief Justice of India.
supposing, no, but supposing if there is a farewell function organized for Justice Chandrachud, will you be attending the program?
Well,
Maybe many
I would
lawyers will.
deliberately not, because I would not be able to stop myself from saying shame on you. So therefore, I would not attend, because I will not be able to stop myself, and there are reasons. Because Constitution of India to us is more important than any individual. Country is more important than any individual. So therefore, I would not be attending for sure.
So you are not attending Justice Chandrachud's
I've
fair.
given you the reason, because I will not be able to stop myself. Therefore, I will
No,
not.
but do you think Kapil Sibal, who is the Supreme Court Bar Association president, will he go to that extent? Is he going to be that harsh? I mean, people would say that okay, let's leave Justice Chandrachud. He's demitting office. Let's be generous towards the end of the tenure. Give him the benefit of
See,
doubt. Let him
when
go
the
peacefully.
choice we have is, if we are generous to a person who is single-handedly done more damage to the Constitution of India and the institution of the Chief Justice, the post of Chief Justice, and just excusing him, as you said, let us be generous. Can we be generous when country's constitution is at stake? Can we be generous? I think we would be guilty of breaking the constitution or denigrating the constitution itself, harming the judicial system of India, if we are generous with Mr. the activities which have been undertaken by Mr. DY Chandrachud Sahab, the Honorable Chief Justice of India, till date. So let's not. This is not a trivial thing. This is something very, very serious, and the consequences have to be as serious as is legally permissible, and the least the bar can do, and Mr. Kapil Sibal can do, because he has been elected for this purpose only. Otherwise, he came and conquered the Supreme Court bar association, not because he is Mr. Kapil Sibal, because people thought that he would live up to the expectation, which he is not doing. He would be able to, because of the stature he
So
has,
you are annoyed. So
he
you
would
are
be
annoyed
able to
with
call
Kapil Sibal.
call state a
No,
state.
Mehmood, are you annoyed with Mr. Kapil Sibal for not taking stand on issues where he should have?
But personally, I'm not annoyed with him. I'm not disappointed with him also, because I expected only this from him. What he's doing, he is also devoting time in self glorification. He wants to be a larger than life picture like Mr. Chandrachud. He is also enjoying himself interviewing. I mean, he's trying to snatch away the role which you people do so wonderfully, and he's not doing a good job in that. And you are interviewing me extempore, and people can see him such a senior person reading notes, having help, which is clearly visible in the interviews. I mean, you see yourself and compare it with the interviews he takes of the other people. You would see what a I think he's reducing his stature by doing all these kind of activities. If he is good in law, he should show in and he if his stature is there, he's a member of parliament. He should be out on streets with us, opposing the
No,
most important
can
issue
you oppose
of
that? Can
the
you oppose
fraudulent
that?
machines by which elections are being held. He's not there.
No, but can you oppose and say that no, it's wrong if he's taking interviews? He has his own YouTube channel. He's free to interview whomever he wants.
Am I stopping him? But I'm only saying he's doing not a good job. I'm not calling it a shoddy job actually. I feel like saying that, but I will not, because he is a senior advocate, and I want to
No, but
respect
let's
him. But
come
he's
back
not
to the
doing a
point.
good job.
No, No, but
his performance in court is delegated by.
no, I'm saying that let's come back to
I
the same point where you expected Kapil Sibal to take a stand on Justice D.Y. Chandrachud's conduct, whatever he's been saying. But there have been reservations, which there has been a resolution which has also been passed. When the Supreme Court Bar Association lawyers opposed the new emblem, the new flag, so all those issues, there has been a resolution. Now, what kind of an opposition you really want from the Supreme Court Bar Association?
I mean, to describe in one line, Mr. Agarwal was the president before Mr. Kapil Sibal. Today, I have heard people. I mean, this is for Mr. Kapil Sibal only. That even Mr. Agarwal was better than him. I mean, that is the comment we people are hearing. To our shock and disbelief.
No, but are
And
you
there was too
indicating
much opposition against Mr. Agarwal.
No,
That,
are you
and today
indicating?
people are saying
No, but Mehmood, are
because
you
he was not
indicating?
performing.
No, are you indicating that Mr. Kapil Sibal is also compromised, and he would not take up
I am
issues?
saying I am something more than that. Mr. Agarwal was, letters were written against him, resolutions were passed against Mr. Agarwal that he is not performing his duty of actually reminding the honorable judges and the Supreme Court, the registry, and everyone that the how things have to be done and be the voice of dissent, voice of course correction for the bench and the registry of the Supreme Court. And unfortunately, and which is shocking, and I am shocked by this, what people are saying, even Mr. Agarwal was better than Mr. Kapil Sibal. And that's the worst comment anybody can have in sitting in the seat of the Supreme Court Bar Association's president. And he, instead of doing what he promised to do, and I think majority of the lawyers believed in him, and it is a big disappointment for them, not to me because I never had such high hopes of him, but even I am slightly disappointed because I did not imagine in wildest of my dreams that even Mr. Kapil Sibal would not object and strongly object to whatever Mr. D.Y. Chandrachud Sahab is being doing, including the arti which I just mentioned, and including all the things which he's doing. Publicly misusing, I would like to say, for a lack of a better word, the office of the Honorable Chief Justice of India. And his comments. So the test is what he is not doing rather than what he is doing. Mr. Kapil Sibal. No strong reaction. We know that he has a practice. So many others also have a practice. Some senior lawyers who have a practice equivalent to him, if not more, they have come out openly.
No, but
so why this hitch? Why this
level?
reluctance?
No,
why this reluctance?
Okay, so you're questioning the reluctance of Mr. Kapil Sibal, but again, I would come back to the same bit of this is a week where people, Supreme Court Bar Association and the lawyer associations would be planning for Justice D.Y. Chandrachud's favor, and here you are there who's saying that 90% of the lawyers in private are saying that there shouldn't be a favor for Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. I want you to elaborate further on this because this is something which is unprecedented. It has not happened before. It shocks everyone. When a person like Mehmood Pracha says that 90% of the lawyers in the legal corridors are saying that there shouldn't be any favor for Justice Chandrachud, it has a shock value. Everybody will be shocked to listen to this.
The indication of that is a letter which is circulating in public domain. And logical letter. Read the letter and you will see that it is bereft of any illogical statement. It is full of logical, ethical, and constitutional reasoning. And the 10%, and let me elaborate in a very, very precise and short manner, the 10% who are for the farewell, they are also saying, let bygones be bygones. That is their logic. What logic can you? But the answer which the 90% people are giving to these 10% people is, can we let the constitution be a bygone thing? Can we let the justice be a bygone thing? No, we cannot. We have to react. And it is not for just the teaching Mr. Chandrachud a lesson. It is not at all about that. I mean, a small percentage of that would be that if you do this kind of things, then this is the result. But for future references, people should not be encouraged. People who are in this one of the
So you
most
are saying
noble
that
profession of being judges,
no. So
they should
you are
not,
saying
future chief justices, future judges for that matter, they
no.
should
You are
not be
saying that
encouraged.
no, Mehmood. You are saying so boycotting the farewell or not giving a farewell to Justice Chandrachud would just act as a deterrent for the future judges.
Who will actually get a clear cut message that these things will not be tolerated by the country, and especially not by the bar, especially not by the advocates. So whatever benefits, cost benefit ratio, everybody will weigh that if I do this, if I succumb to the pressures or the other kind of influences, at least this is going to be the result of that.
No, but
This
this
much I will have to
90% of lawyers, this 90% of the lawyers who are say, whom you are saying that, in the corridors, they are saying that, yes, there shouldn't be any farewell function. But if at all there is a farewell function, I'm sure these 90% lawyers who are speaking in private would be forced to attend no matter what. They will say that, no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's about the integrity of the institution. It's about the integrity of the office of the Chief Justice of India. So while he's demitting office, let's pay our respect. I mean, there would be, I'm sure, many lawyers who would think that way.
Many lawyers of these 90% will go there as a mark of respect to the chair. And there lies the main difference to the chair of the Honorable Chief Justice and to the function which is a tradition. But let me tell you this also, most of them will not go. But the numbers, even this 10% runs into about 700 people. So if a few hundred people attend, they would be, majority of them would be these 10% people. That's my hunch. That's my feeling, which I gather from the talk we have in the corridors of Supreme Court and other bar associations. Because people from High Court and District Courts also go. So 10% of the lawyers of Delhi is quite a huge number, and even a jam-packed uh, the sitting arrangement is only for a few hundred. So that is not reflective. If a secret ballot is held, and I am also saying one very important thing. Let us challenge the judges, if not our politicians. Can they take a narco-analysis test? Can Mr. Chandrachud take a narco-analysis test or a lie detecting test after he demits office about few of his judgments that there was no external influence of whatever nature? I am not going into the nature of interventions. He has admitted that in many times they don't know what to do while they are passing judgment. He has admitted that in public domain. So if can he take a call on that? That would be the litmus test. If Mr. Chandrachud is willing, after he demits office, is he willing to publicly take a narco analysis test or lie detecting test, which has been made legal by a few judgments of the Supreme Court? So he should. Is he ready to taste his own soup? He will not, and that is a statement and the litmus test which the world should see and know, and especially after what he has publicly said regarding a very important judgment.
So my final question to you, Mehmood, that of course, I mean, we do not know whether how many lawyers would be attending the farewell function of Justice Chandrachud. But while he speaks at Express Adda, we'll have to wait and see what all he says. But then, is it not something very shameful, which you hear saying that Chief Justice of India is demitting office in about 4 or 5 days, and here there are people who are saying that we won't attend the farewell function, or there shouldn't be any farewell function for Justice D.Y. Chandrachud. I'm sure he mustn't have ever thought that, people would talk like this about him at the end of his tenure.
I mean, that will depend. Today is Monday only. There are still 5-6 days left. How many events of self-propagation like the Adda today will he attend? And how many judgments will he deliver which he has kept reserved? That is, and he is a very articulate person. He would be giving a very good answer to whatever is being said about him. But the truth will not be shaken by your illogical arguments. That is all the message should go to him. I mean, it is not. Why are you in a situation when you have to give clarifications? He gave another interview clarifying his earlier speech. Why is there necessity of you giving clarifications? There are chief justices before you. They never had to face such a situation. I mean, they had given judgments which are being criticized eternally. And the next Honorable Chief Justice, Mr. Khanna, his uncle is revered and is respected as one of the strongest and the tallest judge of the Supreme Court of India, despite the fact that he never was made the Chief Justice of India, although he was in line. He had actually the seniority and the entire wherewithal and actually the qualifications to be a very good Chief Justice of India, but that was denied. But his name will be remembered till eternity, along with the Supreme Court. And that is the kind of respect people should look for when they are wanting to become judges, and not like some film star whose the duration of his popularity is limited. And when he's aging, then he's more desperate to take up as many films as possible. I'm just giving crude examples. So that desperation should not be there. You pass a judgment like Honorable Mr. Justice H.R. Khanna, which is written in stone. Pass a judgment like that, people you will remember you, and that will be your legacy, not these fancy dresses and fancy speeches which you give. There are better speakers and orators than you who are roaming around the streets of Delhi. But what you deliver as a judgment, that is your legacy. And that's an advice free of cost. You still have 5-6 days. You still have very important judgments to pass.
No, but do you think that there could be any boycott calls of the farewell function?
Boycott call is already there. No, but as I said, the seats are so limited, and the people are, and then of course there is a very good dinner after that. So,
no, but forget the dinner for a while. But what you said in between, in the course of the interview, you said that if I go, then you won't be able to control yourself, and you would end up saying shame, shame. Who knows? There could be calls like this when he's speaking, or maybe when the function is being held.
First of all, I said shame on you, not shame, shame. So therefore, I would not be going there at all, because I literally will not be able to stop.
It's very unfortunate to hear this, but yes, that's a feeling which is there. But how many lawyers would really muster courage to say no to the farewell function given to Chief Justice of India? We'll have to wait and watch. Thank you so much, Mehmood Pracha, for joining on HW News. Thank you.
Thank you very much for talking to me.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.